everybody, DeathsStalker here. So I thought I'd share with you a couple more of my YouTube channels I tend to watch when there's no motorcycle stuff for me to watch. And again, this is sort of like oddball stuff, but I think you actually would find this interesting. Now the first one I'm going to show you is called Mikey McBryan. Now if you know who Mikey McBryan is, you probably already watch it, but if you don't, there was a TV show on I think it's a History Channel in Canada, but it's probably on a bunch of channels all over the world because it is a very popular show. It's called Ice Pilots, and it's the story of the Buffalo Airlines, which, or Buffalo Airways, which operates in the far north in Canada. And what they do is they fly old DC-3s, C-47s, DC-4s, Lockheed Electras, and a bunch of other rather old historic planes. And you might find it kind of weird that why they do that. Well, up north, a lot of the runways are gravel, and anybody who's been around planes, jet airplanes really dislike gravel. And they also they don't like birds that much either. If you remember the airplane that went down in in New York Harbor. But the old warbirds, as they call them, even though these are the transport planes, they don't really mind gravel. They don't really mind birds, and they don't mind ice. They don't mind the cold. Okay, just trying to figure out what's going on here. So these guys fly these old planes, and the show was pretty interesting. It had a lot of characters, and the manager for well, the line manager, I think is what he is, was for this series was actually Mike McBryan, who's the son of the owner of the airline, and his brother is the head mechanic. Now it's actually a fairly big operation, and the show went off the air a few years later. Like I think it was on for maybe 6 seasons, I'm not certain. And last year Mikey started up a YouTube channel, and he started a project called Plane Savers. And this year is like I can't remember what year anniversary it is, the 75th anniversary of D-Day, and they found an old DC-3 that was sitting abandoned in an airfield in Quebec, you know, in pieces. And Mikey started a project to actually rescue and get this plane airworthy again, with the plans to fly it on the anniversary of D-Day. And the reason for this was this plane actually flew over France on D-Day and dropped parachuters. And he ended up doing, it was like a daily vlog. Every single day there was a video about what's going on and whatnot, and I actually enjoyed it, and it was just actually fascinating to see it. And had all these volunteers and stuff, and it was started on a shoe sheet budget, and between the YouTube money and everything else, he managed to basically you know, restore this plane for, except for some of the labor, free. And the plane's now sitting in Red Deer in a hangar where it's you know, now safe and able to fly now. Well, he's got a new Plane Savers 2 now, where they're actually restoring a replica Fokker triplane, I think it is. They're using the actual model number of what the plane is, not what the slang is. And it's the same thing. They got some of the people that helped in the first Plane Savers working on this one. So this one is just starting up now. So this is like season 2, and I just find it interesting to see something like this going on. And it, again, when there wasn't a lot of motorcycle content in the winter, this was really fascinating to watch. Now the other one I watch, and this is a big one, is Kermit Weeks. Now Kermit Weeks is a former champion aerobatic pilot and a collector of warbirds and antique aircraft. And he is the owner of Fantasy of Flight, which is located down in Florida, where they has a large collection. I think he has the largest private collection of flyable vintage aircraft in the world. And this guy travels all over the world collecting all kinds of extremely rare and hard to find aircraft. And the long-time goal of his is to get as many of them flying as possible. They do all kinds of videos. They do flying videos where he actually shows you what's the step. He has I think a 3-part video on what you do to take off with a P-51C Mustang, and he goes step by step, showing you how you get in. It's interesting because nowadays you think you hop in your vehicle, you turn the key, you might check the gas, and away you go. And it's like, no, there's a whole step of things and buttons and levers and things you have to do just to get that plane to start. And he has all these videos. He has videos with the mechanics explaining what they're doing. Just tons of stuff if you're into old aircraft. Now, you know, I've got a family connection because my one uncle who served in the Second World War in Korea in the U.S. Navy was a aircraft mechanic. So he would have worked on a lot of these aircraft. You know, so it's just sort of interesting because a lot of this stuff is just not in books. When you hear them talking about some of these weird planes, like when you read a book, you get like the history, they were made here, they were sold to this place, and that's about it. But here they're actually explaining how the wings were assembled or how this part was made. And I just found it absolutely fascinating. So, you know, if you're into that sort of stuff, I'd highly recommend these two channels. You know, they're both full of content that I find interesting. Anyways, DeathsStalker signing off.